This guy, Kevin Chen, just a few months ago, he was an ordinary CS major and he wasn't getting any interviews. He was mass applying on this Simplify repo right here, this exact GitHub repo. And just a few months later, now he's in the interview process with OpenAI, as you can see over here. Just for a little bit of context, this is a community that I run. You can see that Kevin, he got an interview with OpenAI and he's going through their process right now, which is absolutely insane. He also got an offer from Visa. Yeah, he got a software engineering offer from Visa recently, which is absolutely insane. So what changed just in the span of a few months? How did Kevin go from being this ordinary CS major going through the typical, just mass applying on the Pit CSE Simplify repo grind? How did he go from that to getting offers from Visa and an interview with OpenAI? What actually changed? Well, it was his resume. The resume is the most important part of the application process, and you have to optimize your resume, otherwise you're not going to get interviews. So in this video, I'm not really going to hold anything back. I'm just going to fully reveal everything on Kevin's resume. He's given me permission to do this, thankfully. I'm going to fully reveal everything on his resume that allowed him to get this interview at OpenAI. It's absolutely insane. And I've also redacted, like his phone number and his email address, because I don't want any of you weirdos out there, emailing Kevin or messaging him. But without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to break this video into 3 different sections. The first part is going to be the titles on the resume, the rationale behind these titles. The second thing I'm going to go over is kind of the actual bullet points and how to actually write good bullet points for your resume. And the final thing I'm going to go over is actually the technical skills section of your resume. What do you actually do for those keywords on your resume? Does ATS even exist? I'm going to break down all of that. So first things first, the titles. This is so important. By the way, just a little bit of context or a little bit of proof. I myself have gotten offers from Amazon and Google. These were new grad software engineering offers, as you can see over here. So all of the advice, all the tips, techniques, strategies that I'm about to reveal on Kevin's resume, I basically just used the same strategies that got me into Amazon and Google and applied that on his resume. And so the number one thing that you need to fix, thing number one, is the titles on your resume. Each week, I review hundreds and hundreds of resumes for students and new grads and engineers. And the biggest mistake I see people making is with the titles on their resume. They have titles like full stack developer, research assistant in a lab, back-end developer, web developer. This is a huge mistake. And it's preventing you from getting more interviews. And I've actually spoken to recruiters at Amazon and Google about this. Who cares what the official title was at your previous, work experiences, internships, whatever? Just change all of the titles to just say software engineering intern. It's completely fine. Nobody's going to go and verify what your exact titles were. Again, I give you full permission to just change every single title on your resume to SWE intern. Software engineer intern, software engineer intern, software engineer intern, software engineer intern. People make this mistake. They put stuff like full stack developer, back-end developer, research intern. That's a big mistake. And the reason for that is actually ATS. So ATS, if you're applying for a role with the title software engineer, it's specifically going to check for the key phrase software engineer on your resume to see if you have previous experience with that. But if you put full stack developer, back-end developer, research intern, research assistant, then the ATS is going to think that you have no software engineering experience. It's going to auto reject you, or it's just not going to give you an interview. It's not going to put your resume high enough in that internal priority queue that companies use to kind of sift through resumes. And so it sounds so silly, right? The ATS should be able to realize that full stack development is basically the same shit as software engineering, but it doesn't. And so I don't care what your previous titles were, just go and change everything to software engineer intern. And before Kevin started working with me, before he became one of my students, on his resume right here and on his LinkedIn profile, he had all these kind of incorrect titles. He had research assistant, web developer, all these titles. I was like, bro, just change everything to software engineer intern. And lo and behold, he did get more interviews. So that's thing number one that you've got to do on your resume as well. And this is one of the biggest things that got me into Amazon and Google, and it even helped Kevin get this offer from Visa and an interview with OpenAI. That's the most insane part of this. All right, thing number two is the actual bullet points on your resume. The meat, pause, the bread and butter, the actual bullet points on your resume. And so the number one thing that you need to keep in mind, and I know you've heard this before, but just stay with me, is you need to have metrics, percentages, quantitative impact on your resume. Ship production features 20% faster. 38.6 restoration, processing throughput increased by 40%, stuff like that. You've got to put metrics and bullet points in ideally every single bullet point on your resume. And I know a lot of people know that they should do this, but people don't do it because they don't know how to actually come up with these metrics and percentages, right? Which is fair. A lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to put that on my resume. What if I get asked about it in an interview and then I get called out? What if that's going to be kind of embarrassing? It's going to be kind of, uncomfortable. So I totally get that. Like, I totally empathize with that a lot of people don't want to put all these metrics on their resume because they're like, what if I can't back it up in an interview with proof? But I'm going to be completely real with you. Nobody is going to actually ask for proof or go and verify the metrics that you put on your resume. So it's completely fine to embellish it a little bit, even if you're not 100% sure if it's correct. Now, let me be very clear. Do not just completely bullshit stuff. Don't just completely falsify stuff on your resume. Do not do that. I'm not saying that you should do that. But it is fine to embellish a little bit. It's totally fine if you don't know the exact number, but you kind of just come up with a rough estimate. Like if you know that the work that you did allowed your team to ship production features 20% faster, or at least some percentage faster, like you have that impact with your work, but you don't know the exact number, it's totally okay to just ballpark it and give a rough educated guess. Just guesstimate it. Put something like 15%, 20%, 25%. It's completely fine. This helped me get into Amazon and Google. And the people getting offers right now in today's brutal market, they're not the ones who are just spamming applications on this Simplify repo over here. They're the ones who are kind of playing the game, embellishing their resume a little bit, and kind of putting themselves out there, doing the uncomfortable stuff of putting those metrics on their resume. They're not panicking and worrying, what if I get called out on this in an interview? The people succeeding right now, they're saying, fuck it, I'm gonna just do whatever I can to get interviews, even if that means taking a risk that I have to explain something that's kind of difficult to explain in an interview. Like that's the kind of the mindset that you need to have. You need to have that dog mindset to get interviews in 2026. Again, let me be very clear with you. I'm not saying to just make up stuff on your resume that's not true. Do not do that. Make sure that if you get asked about it in an interview, you could still reasonably defend it. Make sure there is some actual rationale and like educated logic behind the metrics you put on your resume. But it's okay if you don't know exactly what the number is. It's fine to embellish it. It's fine to give a rough estimate. The people getting offers right now, like me and Kevin, not I don't say this to brag, but I'm just trying to give you the proof that like this actually works. You've got to use metrics and percentages on your resume. And the final thing is the technical skills section of your resume. This is also a big thing that I had to really change on Kevin's resume to help him get more interviews. Before working with me, Kevin's technical skills section did not look like this, the old version of his resume. He kind of had a few skills. It was just a couple lines. It was like Python, React, Next.js, whatever. He didn't have that many keywords on his resume. But what I did for Kevin is I massively increased the amount of technical skills and keywords on his resume. And this did allow him to get more interviews. He got the offer from Visa because he passed that interview, and he's still going through the interview process with OpenAI right now. You need to have certain keywords and technical skills on your resume to get past ATS. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but that's just the game we play. Companies do check for certain keywords on your resume because they can't manually sift through every single resume. So companies do use various algorithms to kind of parse through resumes. It's kind of inevitable at this point. And so you do need to have certain technologies on your resume to get past ATS. Now, again, let me be 100% clear. I'm not saying that you should just bullshit technologies that you've never even heard of and put that on your resume. That would be unethical. That would be lying. Don't do that. But as long as you're vaguely familiar with how a technology works, you have some kind of basic understanding of it, it's fine to add it to your resume. You don't need to be an expert on it to add it to your resume. So all these tools and technologies that I had Kevin add to his resume, he does have at least a surface level basic understanding of all of these technologies. Do not put stuff on your resume that you just have like no understanding of at all, that you've never even heard of. Do not do that. But if you know the basics, you're reasonably familiar with it, fuck it, just put it on your resume. You have nothing to lose and you will get more interviews. Again, this is not maybe like the sexiest advice that you wanted to hear, but I just want to give you the advice that's actually going to help you. This is what allowed Kevin to go from an ordinary CS major to getting crazy interviews and offers, and it's what allowed me to get into Amazon and Google as well. Now, Before this video is up, there's one more thing that you need to know, and this is so crucial for getting interviews and offers in today's market. It's not just about mass applying on the Simplify repo anymore. It's not even about getting referrals. Referrals are not that effective anymore. It's about cold emailing recruiters. I'm talking about finding recruiter emails and just going straight into their email inbox and just cold emailing them, basically. That's actually how Kevin got the interview at OpenAI. Yes, the resume was a big part of it, but it was also cold emailing a recruiter at OpenAI with his resume, and the recruiter liked his email, the recruiter liked his resume, and that's how we got into the interview pipeline with OpenAI. And so I've actually created a full video on how to cold email recruiters, everything you need to know. YouTube is going to kind of have it pop up on the screen now. It's going to pop up here. Make sure you watch that video. It's going to be somewhere on the screen. It goes over how to cold email recruiters and really everything you need to know about how Kevin actually got the sweet interview at OpenAI. So watch that video next, and I will see you soon.